everybody, it's Shelby from Stang Books, and today is time for another Top 5 Wednesday. If you aren't familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave the Goodreads group down below for you to check out the topics. So today's topic is books that took you the longest to finish. This one was a little difficult for me in that I normally finish a book in one sitting. I don't generally take very long to read a book at all, but I did come up with my top 5, and they're for varying reasons. The first book on my list at number 5 is The Keeper of the Stones by M.J. Webb. I did receive this book years ago to read for an honest review, and it was such a struggle for me to get through. This was a young adult book, and there were parts I liked about the story, but I kept having to force myself to read it. It is not that long of a book, and it just took me what felt like ages to get through. Like, ages for me with this was maybe 2 days instead of just reading it all in one sitting, but it was really, I had to force myself to read every new chapter. It just dragged on for so much, and there were just parts of the story I really didn't enjoy and had a lot of problems with. And it's also actually the only time in my life that I have been harassed on Goodreads for a review. Anyway, I really didn't enjoy this book, and because of that, it took me a lot longer to read than it should have, even though for most people reading a book in like 2 days is nothing. It is not a lot of time. For me, this was a lot of time to try and get through a book that should have taken me 3 or 4 hours. So number 4 on my list is The Shadows by J.R. Ward. This book, it's not that it took me so much a long time to finish, as I literally got to a point in the book and stopped because I was so frustrated, and I knew it was coming, and I knew it was going to happen, and I didn't want to finish the book because I was really not happy with what was going on, and I still rate this book very highly, and I love this series. It's one of my favorite series, but this book, I don't want to do any spoilers, but there's a moment in this book that just, it's not fair. It really, really is not fair and not okay. And especially with the way that this book is written, it leads you all up to this point and you know it's coming and it still sucks. So I put it down and forever did not want to finish the last, like, not even quarter, like last little tiny piece to this book. And so I count it on my list of books that took me forever to finish because I just didn't want to finish it. Because I didn't want it to be real and I didn't want it to be what it was, and it really, really, I still don't like the ending of this book. I don't care. I don't like the ending. Ugh. The third book on my list is Lord of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson. I absolutely loved this book, and what took me so long with this book is because I did not read it in paperback form. I listened to this on audiobook, and the problem with me in audiobooks is that I can only listen to them in the car. Anything else, and I can't focus on the book. I won't hear what's going on, and it really frustrates me. So I only listen in the car, and at the time I was working at a job that was an hour and a half away, so I spent a lot of time in my car, and thus listening to audiobooks. And for some reason, this book has happened at a time I wasn't driving a lot, and it kind of got stretched out over a couple of months just because of the timing of things. But I was really loving the book, and at the time I didn't have a paperback copy, so I couldn't just jump and finish it. So it took me a lot longer to read, even though it is a really fantastic book and absolutely worth the read. Book number 2 on my top 5 is another audiobook that took me, oh my god, ages to get through. And this was not because I wasn't listening to it constantly. And that book is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I swear the audio is feels like it's like 30 hours. It just is so long, and it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, which you should have for epic fantasy. And I did enjoy the listening to this book. I think I would have enjoyed the book more if I had read it, just because it would have taken me less time to get through, and I would have gotten more of the story in shorter pieces. But I did enjoy this book. I would be curious to see more of the series, but I haven't been super fast to go out and read the next book in the series, in part because I just felt like this drug on for me for so long. And it fell off a little because of that. There were parts of the story I felt like I missed because I'm so used to reading things so quickly that when things are taken over time, I lose pieces of the story. So it was a good book, probably not as great as I would have liked, and did take me forever because, again, I can only listen in the car, and when you're trying to listen to, 20-some plus hours of tape, that takes a while. Alright, and number 1 on my books that took me the longest to read, that would be Outlander, Diana Gabaldon. I don't like this book. And this is such a thing for me to say because I still rated it 4 stars because, frankly, the writing is fantastic. It's really wonderfully historically placed. There are so many great little pieces of history in this book, and the culture and the world that it's set in is fantastic. But I have major problems with the characters, and I struggled to get through this. I was flipping back and forth between the audiobook and the physical book, and it took me ages, and I just was not enjoying it. And I'm not 100% sure why I don't enjoy it. I think a large part of it is that I don't like what I look at as infidelity in this book. I think I would have had less of a problem with it if Claire had just accepted her fate at where she was, but she was trying to get back to her husband through the whole book, yet she's falling for another guy, and I liked Jamie. He's great. He's a wonderful character, but I don't like Claire and Jamie, and this book drove me nuts. So it took me forever to get through, and it's just not one of my favorite books. I don't know if I'll ever continue with the rest of the series, which I know is sacrilege to so many people who are huge Outlander fans. I don't know how I feel about watching the TV series because I just didn't love this. But yeah, this book took me forever. Was the longest book ever to get through. And this just should be something I love because I love historical and I love romance. And the writing is really, really, really well done. But something about the two of them just bugged the crap out of me. So anyway, that is my top 5 books that took me the longest to read, all for varying different reasons, some of which I still very much enjoyed, even though they took me a little bit longer to get through. But overall, I think it's a pretty good list. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like below if you felt it was a great one. Give it a good thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe, please leave me comments. I'd love to know what you think. If you've read any of these books, if they were also a struggle for you, or if you just slid through them like butter, just let me know what you thought. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a great day. Bye!